Hey everybody, my name is Ellen Jody and I am your PLC lead for high school dance on the Godot Communities website. This season, this is the second video of the season, we are talking about using existing knowledge of students and meeting them where they are. The first video we talked about foundational relationship building, which is so important. And then the second piece we talked about facilitation. How do you pull out what they know and utilize that understanding in class? Because that probably looks a lot different than what we were used to traditionally in the dance classroom. For me, along with the facilitation piece, has to come peer-to-peer interactions, teaching and learning. And that can sort of get kind of messy when you're dealing with all different kind of personalities and dispositions. So that's why the first two parts is so important, especially that foundational community building piece. So part of my master's thesis, which I wrote in May of 2023, was about fostering peer-to-peer relationships through student choreography. So the student choreographers were the teacher and their peers were the learners. So I just want to read a small piece of what I wrote about this. This first sentence was paraphrased from Kath Christie in 2022. Supporting peer relationships in school reinforces and promotes the development of a peaceful school community where students thrive academically, disagreements and aggression between peers reduce, and student well-being improves. Then, that was a quote from Christie in 2022, and then I wrote, in the dance classroom, these vital peer relationships are needed for each and every student to feel safe in order to express themselves for who they are and what they know. While many educators and scholars have identified strategies and activities to build positive peer-to-peer relationships in the classroom, there is not a one-size-fits-all approach. In each of my 4 classes that I researched for my master's thesis, a unique classroom culture evolved. Because of this, each individual class required strategies and activities tailored for the multitude of personalities and dispositions. Beyond that, as the classroom culture continued to emerge, shift, and advance as the semester went on, the activities needed to be updated and expanded. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my process with this. And then one more thing I'll read to you. This statement was paraphrased from Humphreys and Kimbrell in 2013. In the dance classroom, we can think beyond generalized community building activities and look to create to the creative and choreographic process to help build peer relationships. Utilizing the choreographic process, peers choreographing on their peers fosters social interaction, increased interpersonal relationships, better communication skills, and as well as social interaction, patience, and tolerance. Now, that's in a perfect world, of course, and like I said, the whole process can get messy, but we know how to navigate personalities and different things that come up. So my process is, I'll have, if you're interested in choreographing a student piece, then you can. I have a Google form they fill out that they tell me about it. They have to edit the music and have everything prepared. We create a schedule. And if you walk in my classroom to see it, basically you would see the student in the front working with, teaching choreography or giving spots or staging or whatever, and then I would be walking around the room, helping as needed. It just depends on the level of that the student is comfortable with, because I do have beginning students who are choreographing. So I would say with my advanced kids and those seniors who have choreographed a bunch or dance outside school and who are very comfortable with this process, I'm more of a hands-off approach. So I give them a lot of autonomy. Goes down the levels. So if I'm talking about my intro class and I've got a student choreographer, I'm a little bit more hands-on, but I do like to give them autonomy with everything because they are, I'm giving them a voice and putting them in a leadership position. So, for the most part, I keep looking out there like they're out there dancing. They're not this morning. So I think that, again, it looks different in every single class because each class culture is unique. So the community building and the relationship building look totally different in each class. yeah, and then as they work through the process, there's lots of things to navigate. Like a student is like, well, I don't like this dance, I don't want to do it. Well, too bad. This is part of the process. This is part of the learning process. You have to take part in it. I have somebody who wants to choreograph as when we come back from the Thanksgiving break. She is a high functioning special ed student, and she's going to choreograph. She got help from one of her peers. There's sort of like a co-choreographic process, and so it'll be definitely interesting to navigate through that. But most of the time, what I have found is that most of the students are open and willing to learn from their peers, and then they're more than happy to be leaders and teach their peers choreography and dance. So again, I think that process is different for every single person. I didn't want to come with a list and say, here, this is your first step, second step, third step, because it being such a unique process, I think, to each class. Even within my program, there's such a huge difference of personalities in the way things work from my advanced class down to my intro class. Nothing bad from one to the next. It's just completely and utterly different. So you sort of have to figure out that process, how that process works best for you and your students. But it's a beautiful thing when you have a whole show choreographed by students, basically. Last spring, I had so many kids choreograph, and I tend to not say no. I know it's a problem. I hope you can work on that if you never say no. So we had like 40 dances that we were working on. I'm like, I can't put 40 dances in the dance show. Parents would kill me. We'd be there for like 3 hours. I like to keep my shows 2 hours and under. And so we did an A-B. So we usually do 4 shows. We have a 4-show run. We did A-B. A-B, A-B. Whew. I told them it was a trial run, and I'm never going to do that again. So with that, I told them that they would, I was going to say no to somebody for choreography. So we finished the fall show, and now we're already making lists on the board of who wants to choreograph for what class. And, we're sort of, in the one class, we were ranking it by grade. So sorry if you're a freshman and sophomore. You probably get knocked off until next year. So that's sort of how we're dealing with that. All kinds of situations to deal with. So not bad. I mean, that's a good problem, I think. They're teaching and learning with their peers. They're creating. Their voice is heard. So it's a good process. So last time with Tamara Irving, she is going to talk to you for a little bit. And yet again, I am not going to come back after that. So I will see you for our third segment. I will see you for the third video of the season next time. Hopefully we can start a conversation about this. I would love to hear how you navigate student choreography and teaching and learning, peer-to-peer, community building, all of that. So hopefully we can get a chat started. All right, thanks.
Hi, my name is Tamara Irving, and I work with dance educators providing professional development, mentoring, and coaching, and I also teach at the collegiate level. I wanted to talk a little bit about peer relationships and how that looks like in a dance classroom. So I start peer relations out very early with my freshmen. I taught high school dance for 12 years, and this was one of the first activities I did with my students, probably about a month into the school year, once we got some guidelines established as to what it looked like to be in a classroom, dressing out, coming in from the dressing room on time. We started to go through the elements of dance, and they had many activities that they did alone, but I put them into groups, and then I would rotate different leaders in the groups, within the groups, so that they learned how to work with their peers. They learned how to talk to each other. And then they also learned how to just work in a group with letting somebody else lead the way, but also letting somebody else be heard. It really helped to start this early so that as they moved through the dance department, through their sophomore, junior, and senior years, they were used to working with each other as peers. And I didn't say that they had to become friends, but just to be able to work with each other, because it's very important to understand that If you learn how to work with your peers in a classroom, you can very much so work with a peer in an outside of classroom activity, whether it's a sport or a future career. Thank you.